Yo, so what is up everybody on YouTube? We are back today with a brand new video, and of course one that has been requested a lot of times here, a Dirk Nowitzki career resimulation. Obviously one of the biggest GOATs of all time, just really cannot be argued. And one of the most interesting things about this is he's going to have Luka Doncic, of course, beside him, and he's going to have Kristaps as well, making a great European trio of players there. So let's see just how his career plays out in this situation. MVP of the regular season in year one goes to Giannis, and for some reason Dylan Windler gets Rookie of the Year with zero stat line at all. Doesn't really make any sense to me, but this game is bugged. So we get the 6th overall seed in the Western Conference in year one. Not the worst, not really what we were hoping for though. Dirk putting up solid numbers there, 18 points per game, 6.1 rebounds per game, not bad at all, not too shabby. Our first round matchup is going to be up against CJ and Dame. Obviously the Trailblazers, a very tough squad to face. And as you can see, we go to a dreaded Game 7 with them, and we end up taking the L. Despite great game there from Luka, we just could not get it done. Finals in year one here, we got the Grizzlies with Ja Morant up against the Giannis Antetokounmpo-led Milwaukee Bucks. And it's looking like Giannis is going to take this pretty easily in 5. Of course, Giannis gets an MVP of the finals there in year one. Moving us into year two, Dirk already up to an 86 overall. Team around us looking really solid, as well as we did add Spencer Dinwiddie to play that point guard position, which even makes this team a little bit more depth going forward. Year two here, back-to-back MVP seasons for Giannis. See Lonzo and LaMelo there, and boom, our guy Dirk actually getting most improved player of the year in year two. That is huge. Second seed in the Western Conference, only behind the Spurs. A little bit interesting to see them dominating so early on. Dirk putting up 25.2 points per game, absolutely fantastic. First round matchup here up against the bubble gods themselves, the Suns. And we go to Game 7 yet again, and as you can see, our Game 7 luck is not good early on in this sim. Taking an L to Devin Booker, absolutely going crazy. Look at this Spurs team that now has Giannis and Michael Porter Jr. on it, up against the Atlanta Hawks here in the finals. And this is definitely a tough matchup for the Hawks, as this Spurs team is super good. It's going to Game 7, and Trae Young clutches it out, getting a finals MVP there, defeating Giannis, Michael Porter Jr., and the Spurs. Moving us into year 3 here, Dirk up to a 91 overall, second highest overall on the team. His teammate right there, Luka Doncic, getting an MVP of the regular season. And somehow Dirk actually got most improved player of the year back-to-back seasons there, which is kind of crazy. Western Conference Finals, we find ourselves up against that really tough Spurs team, finding ourselves down 3-2. Let's hop into Simcast and see if we can push this to a Game 7. I really hope we can. We do clutch up there with some pretty good games there. Luka Doncic kind of doing his thing, and of course Dirk and Kristaps doubles, moving us into an opportunity to go to our first finals here very early on. But can we clutch it up? And it's not looking great here, as the Spurs have a solid lead on us here, and they end up winning by 4. We get an L taken by the highest scorer on the other team in Game 7 there, being Evan Fournier, out of all people. That's tough, I'll tell you that much. Tough game there for Dirk, not really shooting exactly what we would want. Spurs and Pistons in the finals here. See if LaMelo and the guys can take it, or if the Spurs end up actually beating them. And it's back and forth early on here. Pistons find themselves up, and they do take it in 6. LaMelo Ball getting his first finals MVP of the sim. Moving us into year 4, 97 overall, Luka Doncic, 93 overall. Dirk, definitely a crazy duo there, to say the very least. And of course, you got Kristaps doing his thing as well at an 88. In year 4, we got a Giannis MVP. Chet actually coming in the league and getting himself a Rookie of the Year. Mavericks. First round matchup up against the Spurs team. Definitely not what you want to come in as the 8th seed, but let's see if we can even get a game on them, because that's a tough first round matchup coming in as the 8th seed. We do at least get a game. They beat us in 5. Definitely a rough scene there. So of course we're going to be watching the finals from the sidelines yet again. Luka and Dirk doing as much as they could there, but just not getting it done. Pelicans with Zion Williamson, of course, up against the Milwaukee Bucks, who no longer have Giannis, finding themselves back in the NBA Finals. But it might be a tough matchup for them here, so let's see how this one actually ends up going. Going to Game 7, and in 7, the Pelicans pulling it out. DJ Stewart, out of all people, getting a Finals MVP. Kind of a surprise to me, for sure. Moving us into year 5, Dirk already progressing like crazy. Now up to a 96 overall that fast. First round matchup, we find ourselves up against, yet again, the Spurs, and we get bounced in 5. Giannis putting up 42, Dirk putting up 35, but it was not enough. Tragic, tragic, tragic. Suns in the championship here, up against the Magic with Devin Vassell and Emoni Bates. Definitely an interesting team for sure. Suns going up pretty easily on them, though, and taking it in 5. I'm assuming DeAndre Ayton getting a Finals MVP and not Booker. Definitely a little interesting thing there. Year 6, our team very much the same. You see Devin Booker is now actually on our squad, though. So maybe that'll change things up a lot here, and we'll start cooking with some real gasoline. You see LeBron James Jr. now in the league getting Rookie of the Year, and we do miss playoffs with 37 wins with this team plus Devin Booker. Does not make any sense to me, man. That is crazy. So, of course, since we did not make playoffs, we will be watching this from the sidelines. Raptors versus Pelicans here in the finals. You obviously know what that Pelicans squad is looking like. See what the Raptors are still looking like. They still have their guy Pascal Siakam kind of as the star. Going into Game 6, the Pelicans take it again with another DJ Stewart MVP season there. That's kind of crazy to me, but Year 8, you see what our squad is looking like. Melo Ball has joined the team. We no longer have Kristaps it's looking like, and somehow we now have a Rudy Gobert that's aged pretty bad, an 80 overall now. Dirk, 28 points per game, getting himself an MVP season off that season of not making playoffs. Going crazy, leading us to that number 2 seed, leading the squad. Definitely interesting. Not sure who this guy Jay Johnston is, but we go to a Game 7 yet again in the first round. Hopefully our luck's a little bit better than what it has been. And we do end up actually taking that one, thankfully. 35-point performance there from Devin Booker to help get it done. Second round here up against Trailblazers squad that no longer has CJ and Dame as their main components. So we'll see how this one ends up going. And it's honestly a pretty sad sight. We get bounced in 6 by about a 20-point loss there. Warriors versus the Raptors here in the finals. Two definitely interesting teams to say the very least. And let's see how this one ends up playing out. Will Pascal Siakam bring another championship home to the city of Toronto? And the Raptors do get it done, and Pascal gets himself a Finals MVP. Moving us into Year 9 here, 96 overall. Dirk doing his thing, of course. And we do not get a Dirk MVP this year. It does go back to Giannis, who always gets a ton, as we know. First round matchup here up against the Suns. And would you look at that? We go to Game 7 and lose, man. Tragic, tragic, tragic luck here. Suns versus the Wizards in the finals here. And the Wizards are actually kind of cooking them. So the Wizards end up taking it in 6. Who would know that the Wizards would win a championship in the next 9 years? I wouldn't. Year 9 here. Luka and Dirk, of course, doing their thing. Dirk now has an MVP to add to his kind of arsenal of accolades, and we just need to see what we can do. This team's super talented, so we should be able to do something. Giannis gets an MVP. We move on to round 2 after a great performance there in round 1 from the guys, but it's up against Giannis and Michael Porter Jr. with the San Antonio Spurs yet again, and they might just be our kryptonite. We take an L there in a clean sweep of fashion. 4-2-0, man. Spurs in the finals here up against that Washington Wizards team that did just win a championship last year with Jonathan Kuminga, of course. Let's see how this one plays out. Will Giannis add to his legacy, or will the Wizards go back-to-back? And it's looking good for the Wizards, and the Wizards actually end up going back-to-back, moving us in to Year 11. Year 11 here, team very much the same, man. So much talent on this team. Jeffrey Robinson getting an MVP there. Second round, we sweep the Kings, moving us on to round 3, meeting the Minnesota Timberwolves in the Western Conference Finals, where we find ourselves down 2-0, but we do battle back. Can we push this to a Game 7 and give ourselves a fighting chance? Let's see what the Simcast has to say. It's looking pretty good for us, and we do. A 14-point dub there. Can we get it done? Game 7, where the big dogs truly show up, and it's looking good. We end up taking a 10-point dub there. Dirk dropping a 30-piece on 11 of 19 shooting. Definitely super solid. Moving us into the championship against the back-to-back NBA champions here, the Washington Wizards. We find ourselves up 3-1, so let's hop in to Simcast and see just how this one plays out. Are we going to take it here? It's not looking great for us as they have a pretty substantial lead on us here in the fourth quarter. You don't love to see it, but hopefully instead we can just end it in 6 here and not make it get pushed to a Game 7, because Game 7s get real spooky, as we all know. So let's see. It's a back and forth battle early on, but they got themselves a substantial lead yet again, moving us into Game 7. Game 7 here, we hop in up 122 to 117. Cade Cunningham drains a bucket there to make it a 7-point game, but they fire right back, making it a 5-point game yet again. 38 seconds left on the clock. We should be cool here unless nothing crazy happens. We have to throw it up with the expiring shot clock, and with Melo grabbing that rebound there, it's looking really well. And with them throwing up that brick, it is pretty much sealing it. The Wizards will not be going back to back to back, but instead we will take our first NBA championship of this sim, and Dirk brings a championship home to the city of Dallas. Let's see who ends up actually being the one to get the Finals MVP here. Will it be Luka? Will it be Cade Cunningham? Will it be Dirk? Or will it be Devin Booker? Obviously, all these people really did contribute a ton to this team, so we're going to be seeing. Let's check out the box score. Maybe that'll give us a good little idea. 26 point. Wow, it's honestly not what I was expecting, but boom, 32.7 points per game throughout the finals right there for Dirk. Dirk actually does secure himself the Finals MVP trophy, moving us in to year 12 of the sim. Year 12 team still looking extremely solid here. Cannot complain at all. Hopefully we can maybe go back to back. That would be fantastic. I would love to see at least one more championship in this sim for Dirk and Luka as a combo, man. It would just be so fun to see. Of course, Dirk starting to add up some more accolades. Of course, adding Finals MVP to that. Jalen Lewis getting New York Knicks actually getting MVP. Feels like it's been forever since you could say that one. First round matchup here up against the Denver Nuggets, and would you look at that, we find ourselves down 3-1. And we get bounced in 6 after winning the NBA championship in 5. Tragic, tragic scene. We'll be watching from the sidelines yet again. Phoenix Suns up against the New York Knicks here. Let's see which one actually ends up taking it. The Knicks have been, they've been looking good now if they got themselves an MVP. So let's see if they can bring one home to New York, or if the Suns will play spoiler, and it is the latter as the Suns end up winning in 6. Moving in on to year 13 of the sim here. Team, very, very good still. You see PJ Washington off the bench. Like, our depth is so good. 95 overall. Dirk still hanging in there doing his thing. Really not up there too much in age yet. Jeffrey Robinson, another MVP for this guy. First round matchup here up against the number 2 seeded Lakers. We're coming in as the 7th seed. Can we upset them here, or are we about to get bounced? Let's see. Back and forth series early on. Hey, we're putting up a good fight for the 7th seed, but unfortunately we do end up getting bounced in 6 by this Los Angeles Lakers team. Pretty good fight there from the guys, but we just couldn't get it done. Wizards find themselves back in the finals, and again up against the Denver Nuggets this time. Devin Vassell, of course, that 2 guard for the Wizards. We find ourselves, to back and forth, and the Nuggets end up taking it in 6. Giannis, Jokic, and Embiid all retiring at the end of year 13 there, moving us in to the beginning of year 14 here. And it's looking like Dirk's starting to hit a little bit of regression now, down to a 94 overall. He's starting to get up there in age in the early 30 years here, but as we know, Dirk can probably play until his later 30s, in all honesty, at 31 years of age right now. 94 overall, so let's check out how this year goes. Jalen Lewis getting another MVP season here. We find ourselves up against the Kings in the first round here. Can we please make it out of the first round? We go to Game 7, and would you look at that? The dreaded Game 7 for us. We always push it. 48-point performance for Dirk, and we still get bounced. At least the Kings ended up making it to the finals, I guess, since we did get bounced by them in a tough first-round matchup. So they're going to be playing the Hornets here, and let's see who actually ends up coming out on top. Will the Kings that knocked us out actually take it all the way? And they actually do. And we gave them the best fight on the entire bracket. So, I mean, not the worst thing of all time. Squad's looking pretty good here. Dirk's still hanging in at a 94 overall, now 32 years old. Jalen Lewis gets like his 4th MVP for the Knicks. The Knicks are probably going crazy right now. We get the number 7 seed. Definitely not where we want to be. We want to be higher, but it is what it is. 25.7 points per game for Dirk on the season. Not too shabby. First round matchup up against the Denver Nuggets here. Can we please get out of the first round, man? I'm tired of these first round exits for us here later in the sim. Find ourselves up 2-1. It's a back and forth series. Down 3-2. We're pushing it to 7. And would you look at that, man? F in the chat. Another exit in game 7, man. We push it and we just... Wow, we performed really bad in that game, though. Thunder and Knicks here in the finals. Will the Knicks bring themselves a chip with their, like, 4-time All-Star now? Let's check it out. Thunder go up 3-0. They're not trying to let that happen. But the Knicks battle back. But the Thunder clutch up. Wow. They almost blew a 3-0 lead, but they did not, so I can't really say too much. Dirk, 93 overall. Moving on. Jason Kidd's still coaching. That's kind of surprising to me. 34 wins on the season for this Mavericks team. Tough. Dirk still putting up just about 25 points per game. Nuggets and Hornets here in the finals in 2036. The Hornets do end up snagging the chip. Moving us on to year 17 and 93 overall. Dirk, of course, by far the best player on this team at this point in the sim. See what we could do. League standings, where are we hanging in at? And another year of missing the playoffs, but this year even worse with only 29 wins, despite Dirk putting up 27 a game. Kings and Wizards here in the finals, of course. See which one of these two ends up taking it. Will the Kings add another one to their resume, or will the Wizards, as both these teams have won some chips already in this, and it looks like the Kings will be taking it home. Checking out the retirements, you see Jason Tatum getting inducted into the Hall of Fame. That's how you know we're getting far into this. Year 18 and 89 overall Dirk here. Of course, he did win Most Improved Player of the Year. He has some great accolades. So let's see what we can do here in year 18. Wang getting MVP with the Nuggets. Do we make the playoffs here in year 18? And we do not, with only 31 wins on the season, man. Tragic. 26.3 points per game for Dirk on the season. And, of course, we're watching from the sidelines yet again. Nuggets back in the finals up against the Pacers. And they 4-0 sweep them with Wang getting an MVP there. And after that, Luka and Ja both retiring. So some of the GOATs are starting to leave the league. Well, some of the young GOATs are starting to leave the league. 86 overall, Dirk still trying to hang in there. Still going to probably be one of the best players on the team even at this point, which is kind of crazy. Standings, we do miss the playoffs yet again. Pacers and Grizzlies here in the finals. I'd assume Dirk maybe has one more year in him if he doesn't retire after this year. See what the squads are looking like. Pacers was going to a Game 7, and the Grizzlies end up taking it with Darnell Robinson getting MVP, moving us into year 20 of the sim. Dirk, 84 overall, still like the second or third highest overall on the team. Third highest overall on the team, not bad for somebody who's been in the league for 20 seasons. Darnell Robinson getting himself an MVP. Do we make the playoffs? Let's get some type of a farewell tour for Dirk here. Let's make the playoffs and maybe make a statement. We do. We make the playoffs as the number 6 seed. A lot better than maybe what I thought. 42 wins on the season. Dirk still putting up 19 points per game. Still putting up 5.9 rebounds per game. Definitely getting it done for an old guy at this point, man. You love to see it for sure. So hopefully we can make a little bit of a run here. Our first round matchup's going to be up against a pretty tough matchup in this Kings squad that seems to always have had our card throughout this sim. Early on, it was the Spurs. Later on, it was the Kings. We find ourselves down 3-1. And just like that, we get bounced in 5, man. That is tragic, tragic, tragic. In the finals here, Wizards and Kings. See the Kings, man. They bounce us in the first round, then they make it all the way to the finals. It happened again. Let's see just how this one ends up going. Wizards and Kings battle in here, and the Wizards end up getting, I think, their 3rd or 4th championship of this sim, and I'm pretty sure that's probably all she wrote for Dirk. Dirk does retire there at an 84 overall. Not too much success. He got that 1 championship, an MVP season, final MVP, 2 most improved player of the years, but not what we wanted as far as championships, boys. If you made it this far throughout the video, as always, comment GOAT, G-O-A-T, in all capitals in the comments, so I can show you guys some love for watching it all the way through. I will see you guys next video. Let me know what you guys want next down in the comment section below. It's been your boy, Bean. Peace.